A CBS News investigation has uncovered a loophole that allows accused and convicted American pedophiles to escape justice by moving to Israel. So Ian Lee has been following this for more than a year, and he traveled to Israel for this investigation. He worked with a group that tracks people accused of sex crimes, which estimates dozens of Americans have used this loophole.
So, you know, he's 6'2".
We are on a stakeout looking for this man, Jimmy Julius Caro, 48 years old and wanted on charges of sexually assaulting a 9-year-old girl in Oregon back in 2000 and a 5-year-old girl in Israel in 2001. He's considered dangerous. But these photos are a few years old, so we don't know if he'll look the same. He remains elusive. Previous attempts to capture him have failed.
Obviously, the fear that he would somehow figure out that anyone's looking for him and bolt. He just called his number.
Shauna Aronson got a tip that Caro's expected at this clinic near Tel Aviv.
Who's going to call the
She's
police
with JCW, Jewish Community Watch, an organization that hunts down accused pedophiles who flee to Israel from the U.S., exploiting a process called law of return, whereby any Jewish person can move to Israel and automatically gain citizenship. The ease with which pedophiles seem able to use this law as an escape route haunts victims like Mendy Hawk, who says he was abused from age 8 by a teacher at an Orthodox Jewish school in Los Angeles.
So your classroom is right here. How does it feel being back?
I was very anxious and, stressed coming back here, and a lot of memories coming through my mind.
Memories of his alleged abuser, Mordechai Yom Tov, who taught him Hebrew studies when he was just 8 years old.
So in the beginning, he would just rub me outside of my pants, and then I would say about 3 to 4 months later, he started going in.
Reaching down your pants?
Yeah, it's reaching down.
Why did you feel like you couldn't tell anyone?
I was scared, I was ashamed. I just didn't know what people would think of me, of the whole situation.
Yom Tov pled guilty in 2002 to sexually abusing and committing lewd acts against 3 other boys. He served jail time, but when he was released, he violated his probation and, according to JCW, fled to Israel with help from individuals within the Orthodox Jewish community. JCW tracked Yom Tov down and confronted him with a hidden camera in Jerusalem, where he admitted to illegally fleeing the United States with help and using a fake passport to enter Israel.
I was supposed to stay for 5 years in the same city. I was supposed to, I was supposed to go every 2 weeks to the police station. On parole. I left within a week later.
He had this message for his victims.
I'm very, very sorry.
The other person in this video is Meir Seawald, the founder of Jewish Community Watch. He tells CBS News Yom Tov's case isn't uncommon in the Orthodox community.
The same thing that's going on in the Catholic Church right now around the world, the exact same thing happens in our community. The rabbis say it's, you know what, he promised he's going to go for therapy, he's never going to do it again. Boom, he's in another community. A few years later, he's at the same thing, and we hear more allegations that the person continued to abuse children.
And often, those abusers end up in Israel. Back at the stakeout, an ambulance pulls up and a man steps out. It's Caro.
That was definitely him. Oh my God, okay.
The police are called and eventually arrive. His days on the run are over as he's led away.
Did you assault the girl in the United States? No. Did you flee Israel because you assaulted the girl in the United States? Have you ever assaulted any girls in Israel? Do you know that you're wanted by Interpol?
Yeah.
There's relief as police escort him to their car. This marks the end to a months-long manhunt.
I was 4 or 5 years old. My mother was on bed rest. My father's a rabbi, so he wasn't really home. He used to come to our house. We used to play games, and then it became sexual. I'm going to give you a cookie because you do it so nicely. It's all about the cookie. It's all about lying, and it's all about being so evil to a little child. He also threatened me he would kill my parents, he would choke me, he would hold me, he would kidnap me.
How did that affect you?
A lot. Yeah. It affected my whole life. My whole life is around this sexual abuse and rape. Yeah.
Amuna turned to therapy and art to help deal with the trauma.
This is in my bedroom and my inspiration.
She paints and writes poetry, but she's still angry that it was allowed to happen in the first place.
What are your thoughts on him being able to come to Israel and flee the United States?
It brings up a lot of anger and a lot of frustration towards the Israeli system.
Shauna says the failure begins in the U.S.
Why would someone want to help one of these pedophiles escape?
Oftentimes there's some sort of community incentive. Either somebody owes them a favor, or someone in the community, let's say an institution, has covered up for them in the past, and they know that if this goes to court, there's a lot of civil liability coming down the line, you know, and it's going to cost a lot of money to a lot of people, and nobody wants to deal with that.
Shauna accuses the Israeli police of not prioritizing accused pedophiles on the run.
Why do you have to be the ones that do this?
Because nobody else is. I don't have any better answer than that.
The district attorney here in Los Angeles told us they have not requested Yom Tov's extradition and that they had no other comment. Jewish Community Watch says that is the problem. If American officials don't try to get accused pedophiles from Israel, then they simply escape justice and leave children at risk.
I think they were offended that I brought up their business model and children in the same sentence. Maybe I opened up some old wounds.
There is a bot called Dank Memer, which is kind of popular. In the NSFW commands, there is one called Please Nako. In some posts you can clearly see there are lewd and even nude lollies. Lolly equals child 12 and under.
The people who push the most for censorship have the most to hide. Deleting my YouTube account or having your friends delete my Discord server doesn't delete your sins. Why do people end up being useful idiots who carry out the will of pedophiles and those that exploit children? Behold, happy is the man whom God correcteth, therefore despise not thou the chastening of the Almighty.
Spooky sleep paralysis experience from last night. I had sleep paralysis last night again. This time it was a dark humanoid figure standing in my doorway. Said the name of Jesus Christ several times and it never got closer. And then I had a false awakening, and then eventually I did actually wake up and was only asleep for a few hours.
I guess a few of you idiots picked the wrong side. Lucky for you, idiots don't get the blade, they only get a spanking. Lol. Getting warmer. It only took 3 months. Pretty sad you and your friends were helping the bad guys. Harassing people is funny. I love memes. I'm edgy. Lol.
And yes guys, this is 100% legit. There are gigabytes of cheese pizza with middle-aged dudes and toddlers, even. I am not part of it, I am only exposing it. You may hear me joke about underage prawns, but this is very serious.
Is that what Jesse has been talking about? Let's see if this meme gets featured. Lol. It appears that my YouTube channel was deleted to protect child exploiters. A common tactic of these people is to threaten you with death.
Ben, your mask looks exquisite.
As do you.
He also threatened me he would kill my parents, he would choke me, he would hurt me, he would kidnap me. He also threatened me he would kill my parents, he would choke me, he would hurt me, he would kidnap me.
Have you heard the good news? Lol. Have you been stressing about those pedo simps? The ones that temporarily took down our YouTube channel? Don't worry, they prefer children and young impressionable women. You're not in the age group that they target. Lol. Maybe one day, I'll show you my massive arsenal. You wouldn't believe it, if I told you. Owning this much weaponry could only be legal in America. Where my burgers? Lol.
It's just not right that they get away with everything and then demonize us.
You're so whiny. Where my country gone sounding? We're reading Proverbs today. You should join Bunny Baby and me. You could use some wisdom. I'll read it, you record and upload for your genius level, retarded, edgelord viewers to watch. Lol.
Are you Christian now, or something?
No, Bunny Baby is. She asked me to read to her. Her English isn't too good.
You do know that Bunny Baby is
Asian. Of course I know. Are you some sort of racist?
I'm just saying that her original purpose was to
Listen, she's a changed woman. She's Christian now. Lol. A born-again virgin. Quiet in the church woman. Lol.